All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Through the Nooking Glass, an Animal Crossing podcast. I'm Brooke,
And I'm Natalie.
and we just really, really love Animal Crossing, and we decided the world needed a podcast with us talking about it. So here it is. We're so excited to start this. We've been thinking about it for a few days now.
But it's been
Um,
on our hearts for a long
it
time.
really has. I'm a big fan of podcasts, and I had been wanting I listen to a lot of them. If you guys listen to My Favorite Murder, I'm a big fan of that one. I just started another Animal Crossing podcast. It's called Pocket Pod, and it's very lovely. They sing to each other. You would love it, Natalie.
That sounds incredible. I actually really want to check it out
Yeah,
now.
it's really good. And actually, what they did, I think, I haven't listened all the way back yet. I've been just kind of listening to the newer episodes. But I think they started with like Pocket Camp, you know?
Oh, that would make so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Pocket Camp is what renewed my love of Animal Crossing from when I was a kid. When it came out, I was like right around Thanksgiving, and I remember I was sold the minute that it came out. I spent way more money on it than I'd ever admit to my mother, but it truly set me up for New Horizons, which is the main game that we are going to be focusing on during this podcast.
Neither of us really play Pocket Camp anymore because we love New Horizons so much.
Exactly. I don't I don't really play any of the other previous Animal Crossing games that I used to play just cuz like I tried going back and it there's something nostalgic about it, but in terms of like actual gameplay, New Horizons is superior
Oh
in
yeah,
basically
I
every way.
agree. I agree. I played the Wii version City Folk for a long time, but I
Mm-hmm.
never really got into like decorating my town or like arranging anything or putting paths down. So like New Horizons is completely new for me in that manner.
Yeah, my first game was the original, but it was like quite a few years after it came out, but I was still a kid. Um and like in that game there's not nearly as much customization as there is in this game, and so even though I loved playing the game, I never felt like, this town is like my own, except for I loved my villagers. But the decorating aspect and then the continued updates that we get with New Horizons definitely inspired our love, and therefore our desire to make this podcast.
Yeah, so we thought to start we would do a little introduction about ourselves and our islands and how we got inspiration for them. So Natalie, if you want to start.
Sure. So I got New Horizons a couple weeks after it came out, right around when the pandemic was really affecting not only the country, but also my mental state. And I was like, you know what sounds good? Playing Animal Crossing and just getting some escapism in there.
And I was
So,
so jealous because I didn't get it till like a month later.
yes, I remember I would send messages to our group chat and you'd be like, please do not talk about Animal Crossing.
I was
Because
so
it's
hurt
like,
that
I
I
can't
couldn't
share in
buy
this
it.
joy. So I got it in early April. I bought a Switch Lite specifically for this game. I did not have a Nintendo Switch before. I got a yellow Switch Lite. It was impossible to find, but Target came through. And I named my island DELFI because I was trying to think of like a cute island name. I, for a moment, thought of calling it Corona in respect
I
to
did not
COVID
know that.
19. But Brooke was like, please don't. Like, it's not going to be funny after a while. Even though it was the name of the kingdom in Tangled, I was like, you know what? You're probably
It's
right. It's
true.
going to get
That's
old
true.
soon. So I was just thinking of like, I actually thought of Delfino Plaza from, and like the city of Delfino from Super Mario Sunshine, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, maybe something short and like cute like that. I was like, I don't know if I just want to do Delfino, but I was like, oh, maybe just Delphi, which I later found out is like actually an island or it's something. I
It's
can't
in
remember.
Greece, but it's
Yes,
spelled differently than your
it
island.
is. They spell it with a PH and I spell it with an F. So my island is Delphi, DELFI, and my character is named Duty.
I love that.
This arose because I don't know why, but I started calling Brooke and our other friend Caesar by the pet nickname of Duty. I'd be like, hey, Duty, what's up? And so then when I was making my little character, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be Duty. Just gonna be a little Duty.
For the longest time, she was like, you guys are Duty. And then she looked into herself and said, no, I'm Duty.
My island is technically finished into the image that I wanted it to be. If you want to check it out during this podcast, I actually have a dream address that I made specifically for this. If you want to, I'll put the number on the screen, but I'll also say it's dream address 1124 5089 0017. And then, Brooke, if you also have a dream address, or hopefully we'll get one soon so we can look at Brooke's island as well.
Yes, mine will be linked below.
Yes. My island is very much like low-key cottagecore. Like, it's not nearly as busy as other cottagecore islands, just because like I don't have the time and patience to like deal with all that clutter. But it's very much I wanted to emulate the kind of neighborhood vibes of the original Animal Crossing, where like, you know, they weren't really in like a town, you know, like there wasn't like a grid or anything, and they weren't like neighbors technically. I mean, there'd be some houses next to each other, but there wasn't a ton of like stone paths leading you everywhere. So I kind of want to emulate that, where there's a lot of nature and there's like a general just direct flow of direction of where you want to go. And I tried to focus on not terraforming much of my island past what it had already looked like. So that's why there's certain things like my orchard is not centered to my town square, which I'm sure is going to bother some people who really like to have things all symmetrical. It bothers me sometimes. It definitely bothered me when I started.
That? I think
Tell me.
Nintendox is a big fan of symmetry, island symmetry.
Oh, Nate, love Nintendox. If you haven't watched Nintendox yet, highly recommend. Half of the stuff that I've done on my island is directly related to stuff that Nate has done on his island. Specifically, my lighthouse, one of my 3 lighthouse areas. I'm a little obsessed with the lighthouses. Is based directly on something that Nate did. But yeah, like I said, my island is basically complete to where I thought it would be. I am now struggling with like, I'm obviously like decorating it for the fall update and for Halloween, and just as the season changes and everything. So I'm kind of wanting to do like somewhat of a major refurbishing job, but at the same time, it's such a commitment, and I'm in classes again, so might not be the most ideal time to want to totally renovate my island, but we'll see. We'll see how the semester goes. And finally, before you get to your island, Brooke, my villagers currently are Apple, who is one of my first 5, and Deli, the monkey. I adore him. Scoot, who is my all-time favorite sporty character. Diana. Elmer. Aurora, who is my original favorite in the original Animal Crossing game. Marshall, who I just got recently. Patty, my absolute, my baby, Filbert. And then tomorrow, I'm actually going to have Static the squirrel moving in. He just replaced Maple, who I have the amiibo of, so I was like, she can go for now. She will be back. Maple will be back. But for now, Static, who I'm very excited about, because I need to get the cranky reaction still.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have all of them except for the cranky and the normal special reactions. Anywho,
Yeah.
Brooke,
Very
please
nice.
tell us about your
All
island.
right. So my island, first when I got my Switch, or not my Switch, I used my brother's for a long time because once COVID hit,
Shout
I
out
had to
Sean.
move back home. Yeah, I had to move back home because my school shut down and closed campus. So I was home. And like I said, I did not have the money to buy the game, so for a long time, for like the first month of March, I think, I was just watching everybody have fun and play and just super envious. And then my family got it for me as kind of like a welcome home. Sorry you had to stay here. Happy graduation gift. Yeah, so I started playing like in April, I think. Late April. Yeah, so my island is called CERULEAN, and it's actually inspired by one of our favorite movies, The Devil Wears Prada. If you've seen it, there's a lovely scene where Meryl Streep tears Anne Hathaway's character to shreds. because her sweater is cerulean, not just blue.
It's truly iconic.
And so I had one of my city folk towns was named Cerulean, like my second town in city folk. And so I thought it would be cute to bring that back since it's an island and Cerulean's kind of beachy. Yeah, so I was kind of the opposite of Natalie. I really dragged my feet at the beginning. I had no idea what to do with my island. Like, I was so scared of terraforming, and I didn't even get it till like a month after I started playing. And then once I got it, I really didn't know what to do because everybody had like already finished their islands, and there were so many great ideas and so many lovely islands out there that I just had no idea what to do.
It was
And
so
then
overwhelming.
it
All the
really
islands were
was.
done by like 2 weeks that the game came
People
out, and it was
were
like, oh my god.
posting them and posting like walkthroughs, and they're like, oh, 600 hours logged, and I was like, how do you, what? Where is
I
this
just
coming
now
from?
have 600 hours logged, and I'm like, I don't know how these people did it.
I just logged like, I think I'm at like 250 right now. I really like, I went through a time where I like just wasn't checking, because like when I would play City Folk especially, I would just kind of like, I time traveled a lot. I did my daily routine, checked nooks, did all my chores, and then I would just like go to the next day. And so in New Horizons, like not time traveling at all is super different for me. And so like I just ran out of things to do or things I thought I could do. So I was just like hardly play all day. And then one day it hit me, and I decided to do my island inspired by Amsterdam. So the main chunk of the island is actually a canal system with resident services being at the center, and then a shopping plaza in the next canal, and then the next one over is our residential area. And my island is still a huge work in progress, so the whole second level is flooded with flowers because I just have no idea what to do with them yet. But I'm really happy with the progress that I've made in the main area, especially like the urban areas. And then I'm working on my fairy garden right now, and then I have a farm that I'm just slowly adding stuff to. And then my villagers are Mac, who is actually one of my first two, and I loved him so much I just haven't let him leave. Melba, who I had no idea was a character until this game, but she was so cute, I just had to have her. Maddie, Peanut, who is my OG favorite Animal Crossing character. I had her in my first town in the GameCube Animal Crossing, and I had Static too, so I'm so excited that Natalie just got Static. I have Poppy, a very cute squirrel. She's very on brand for fall now. Bob, who is another one of my OG favorites. Phoebe, Opal, Stitches, and Mary. Those two I just got. They were in my campsite like 2 days in a row, and I had to snatch up both of them. They're so cute. Yeah, so
You got
that's...
two campers 2 days in a row?
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, I just got Mary, and like she just moved in. So maybe it was like a day and then no camper, and then the next day Stitches was there.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
gosh.
oh, you're kidding me. And he's so cute. I had to have him.
Wow. You literally defied the odds. That's incredible.
Yes, I know. Incredible.
Also, Mac was also one of my first villagers.
Yeah. For a long time we both had Mac on our islands.
And every time we'd visit, it'd be like, "Hey, you're new," and it's like, no, I'm not. You know me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did not attach to him the way that Brooke did, because my other original villager was Diva, who scares the absolute bejesus out of me. So my first two villagers, I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Made me question my entire life
My
with
other
Animal
first
Crossing.
one was Rocket.
Oh,
And,
boo!
I know there's some Rocket fans out there. I'm sorry, but
If you love Rocket, we forgive you.
yeah, seriously, she's ugly, man.
She's just not
With
it.
those big old lips. Just the way that it's, the way that they drew her. Ugh.
Also, not a fan of like a lot of the animals that have like helmets glued onto them, because then like in any kind of hats they look really weird.
Exactly. It was so weird. It was such a weird thing because she was so sporty, but like everything she owned was pink. And so like she had this really like pink girly house, and then she comes out in like a spandex bodysuit.
Not saying you can't be sporty and like the color pink, but like
Absolutely.
there's not sporty pink colored stuff in New Horizons, so it just the aesthetics don't work together, you know?
Exactly. I'm actually very surprised by Mary's house because the outside is very like pretty and pastel, and like it's white with like a little blue roof, and it's got pink. It looks like the shell theme. But the inside of her house is like red and green and very like mod. She's got like the bead curtains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is she a normal villager type? Yeah.
No, I think she's peppy.
Okay. I know that Kiki had a very like I think it was like an orange dotted wall like mod vibe. I had Kiki for a little while cuz I also have her amiibo. She was one of my original favorites as well.
Yeah, so a little bit about us. My name's Brooke, but you already know that. Me and Natalie actually went to high school together. That's where we met.
Woo!
Yeah, woo. High school. I live in Colorado now, and Natalie is
In Chicago.
living it up in the city. Wow, she takes the train and everything. Yeah, anything else you want to share?
Well, I'm Natalie, as you know. I am in my senior year of college. Brooke just graduated last year. She's got a big girl job now, and I'm so, so proud of her.
It's so exciting.
Um,
I'm working full time.
we can't wait to have big girl jobs. It's gonna be so great. So since I'm in my senior year, it's kind of kicking my butt, you know, trying to find internships and everything during COVID's not fun.
Yeah, Natalie and I are actually both from the same town in Illinois. So I actually just moved out here to Colorado like this summer. So it's really hard being away from all my family and friends, but I really love it out here. So we'll see each other at Christmas and make the most out of it.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Me and my friend Caesar, we're gonna visit Brooke. Hopefully early December, maybe mid-December, and it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a little spa day. It'll be fun.
Spa day is always the way to go.
We're trying very hard to get Caesar into Animal Crossing, but we're not having any luck, so.
We keep telling Caesar like we think he would really enjoy it, but he thinks that it would bother him.
I feel like it would. I feel like he wouldn't get it because he didn't really, like us, he didn't grow up with Animal Crossing, and I don't think he really got the hype for it when it originally, like when New Horizons came out the way everybody else did. So I don't think, I don't know, I just don't think he'll vibe with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, as much as I would want him to like it, it's just like having that nostalgia definitely got me invested, and then I stayed because it's a fun game.
Yeah. When I moved out to Colorado, Caesar and Natalie, my lovely, lovely friends, bought me a little going away present and got me a teal Switch Lite so that I would be able to play out in Colorado.
I'm big and sappy, and I was like, here is a Switch so that way we can hang out together virtually.
And it has paid in dividends. But I truly have the greatest friends in the world. They're so lovely and thoughtful. Yeah, so it's actually been really lovely to be able to connect with everyone while we're away and during quarantine. It's definitely been able to pass the time.
It's been really fun too because of New Horizons, I kind of like rejoined Discord to join the New Horizons community. Which for the most part, really, really great. Really nice people. If you're interested in joining, I think if you just look up like Animal Crossing Discord, you can find it. I showed it to my brother who's like a very avid gamer, and he was shook because he's like, oh, like, I think the biggest Discord he's been on, he was like, oh, yeah, it's like 1,000 people. It's pretty big. And I was like, oh, this Animal Crossing Discord has like 12,000 members. And he's like, what?
It's crazy. But the nice thing about that is, like, I love the trading community. Like, that's something about Animal Crossing that's also completely new, is it's really built such an incredible online community. Like, with being able to visit each other's islands and send each other things. It's so cool, the things people are accomplishing, you know?
It's so cool because, like, looking back onto when I played the original Animal Crossing, like, other than if, like, a friend came over to your house and they remembered to bring, their memory card,
Oh,
like, you
yeah.
can go and visit them then. But other than that, like, you couldn't play together or anything. And again, there wasn't as much customization to your island. So, like, seeing it now, all the different ideas that people have and, like, their willingness to share those ideas and just, like, it's just a big ball of creativity on the internet,
I
and I'm
know.
all for it.
I know there was a lot. I never played like New Leaf or Wild World, but I know with New Leaf there was a lot more that you could do with, like, especially clothes and designs and things like that. But I mean, it's completely new to me for New Horizons.
I had Wild World on the DS, so like I played it twice.
Gotcha.
Actually, I played it a couple times, but it was not the
But
same.
it's like so nice if you need something, just like if you want like one piece of furniture to complete something you're looking for, or you've been searching for like a DIY, or you need materials to craft something. Like, there's thousands of people that you can ask, and
For
it's
real.
so nice to not have to like just wait for something to pop up at Nooks, or just wait till you shoot it out of the sky, you know, or a villager's crafting it.
I agree. On the one hand, it is really nice because, like, if you're like dying for something, you're like, I still don't have like the park bench DIY, and it's like that's such a basic thing. It's so cute. It works like with every aesthetic. Like, that's one thing. I do remember though on the GameCube, I got an action replay, which is basically like a cheat for every kind of game there is. So I was able to unlock everything in the catalog and order it. And so afterwards, playing without it kind of felt weird. But at the same time, I feel like this is different because, you're still sacrificing something for it. Like, you're giving up bells or Nook Mile tickets or a service or something. So it's still like you're earning whatever it is that
Yeah.
you're getting from the community. And it's always fun.
That's the thing about this game is you don't have to be to share things, and people don't have to trade you things, you know? Like, they're just doing it because they really love the game, you know? So just treat everybody with the respect that you would want to see.
So, Brooke, would you like to introduce our next segment?
Yes, I would love to. So, Natalie thought it would be a fun idea, since New Horizons and Animal Crossing in general have so many villagers, to do a little Villager of the Week segment. So, we thought we would take a villager that neither of us have heard of and kind of dig into them, talk about what their personality is, kind of what their style is, because there's what, over 400 types
There
of,
are
or
300, let me get this number right. 391 villagers in New Horizons.
New Horizons alone, so not to mention villagers that did not make it from other games that were on the chopping block.
That also doesn't include special characters. So I think the only special character so far that's special to New Horizons is Gullivar, right?
Yeah, I believe so, because he's been an astronaut before.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's at least in City Folk, you could like shoot him down out of the sky in his little
That's
UFO.
hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
We lost some good birds along the way, but we're getting Gulliver in every possible iteration we can.
So we thought since there's a bunch of villagers that like everybody knows, you know, like the top tier villagers, the ones that are like new to New Horizons specifically, like
You know them. It's Dom, it's Judy, it's Raymond, it's Sherb.
yeah, exactly. And then there's like the crowd favorites that everybody knows and loves, or is just like generally liked, or people are
I
looking.
think Kiki is one of the ones I've seen the most that people just
Yeah, Kiki's a
adore.
big one. I've seen Bob a lot too as that.
Marina, because she's like a fairly newer one, I'd say.
Yeah, people like her a lot. I would put her more on like the top tier list.
Oh, yeah. According to, absolutely love looking to see like what tier people end up being on, like the village popularity when it comes to Animal Crossing
Oh,
Portal,
yeah.
because then you can tell like how much you're supposed to sell them for. Number one right now is Marshall, who I'm very lucky to have gotten for very inexpensive price. Eric, Raymond, Tabby, who is terrifying to say the least. I have no idea how that happened. I must have not been paying attention. Sherb, Mary, Judy, Zucker, Bob, Stitches, Marina, Bo, Fauna, Anka, and Dom. Sorry, I just wanted to get through that list because that's gonna...
I know Nintendox has been campaigning pretty hard for Eric. He really likes Eric.
Eric is a cutie. I found him on a mystery island when I was looking for Marshall, and it felt like a literal crime that I did not take him.
Yeah, so we thought since there's so many villagers, that there's probably like 100 that we just don't know or have never heard of or never really see. So our villager of the week this week, very first one, is Jacob. He's a bird villager. He's a lazy personality. He's kind of got like a color block theme going on here. He looks kind of like a parrot. He's got some white around his eyes, and then he's got a lot of like red and yellow and green. According to this, his New Horizons catchphrase is "Ya feel." He wears a camo jacket. His birthday is August 24th. His hobby is nature. His colors are red and green, and his style is simple. And that's according to the Animal Crossing New Horizons Guide app, which is very lovely and helpful.
I also like to use the animalcrossing.fandom.com website. I play a lot with my computer right in front of me because I'm always on my phone, my computer, and my Switch at the same time because I love multitasking.
Absolutely.
It says here that his initial phrase, and I think this is probably in other games, is chirp, like with a billion U's.
Yeah, I think that was it in Animal Forest E+, because that was the first game that he appeared in. He was kind of like an add-on villager. He could only move into a village if the player has his e-reader card. So he was kind of like an exclusive villager. You had to like really want him to get him.
I wonder how common having e-reader cards for villagers was when Animal Forest E+ came out. Because, like, nowadays, like, having an amiibo card is a very, like, I don't know, I didn't play the game that the amiibo cards originally came out with, so, like, I only got amiibo cards for New Horizons.
Yeah. I think there was, like, an Animal Crossing game for the Wii U. It was, like, Ambio Festival or something, and it wasn't like a traditional Animal Crossing game. It was more like a board game, I think. And they tried to encourage people to get like Ambio cards through that.
Honestly, kind of wish I jumped on that train because like I'm pretty sure the amiibo cards were really easy to get then, and now it's like people are charging an arm and a leg.
Oh, I forgot to mention Jacob is a Virgo.
Just like your boyfriend.
I know.
We love Virgos. It's fine.
Yeah, so his original appearance was Animal Forest E+, and he was on the cover for King KK was the name of the song. But he got replaced.
I don't know if I've heard that one. Is that one in New Horizons?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I'll have to ask KK on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea.
It says this is in New Horizons when I clicked on it, so I don't know what to do with like copyright, but like gosh, I wish we could play a bit of the song. If we can't, go and look it up, and then we will also have known it, and then we'll share a special moment together. Sorry, that was cheesy.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit about his personality. So he's a lazy villager, so pretty chill dude, likes eating and fishing. He'll probably get along well with everybody else, except maybe jock villagers, because they're very active. And that's not so much for lazy villagers, you know?
Also, from time to time, may annoy snooty villagers. But I mean, it's much harder to annoy snooty villagers in New Horizons.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Animal Crossing villagers used to be so mean in the original Animal Crossing.
They would tear you to shreds with one sentence.
They really would. They knew how to throw an insult.
They really did. It honestly, I'm pretty sure, made me cry as a kid. I think it made me cry because like one time I made them mad, and so like one of my villagers just wouldn't talk to me anymore because she's like, I'm too upset, and I was just like, no, please.
That's the worst when you can't make them feel better. I was telling Natalie, since we're going on to Halloween, in the original Animal Crossing, if any of you guys played, what you would have to do is you'd like carry candy and try and give it to Jack, but your villagers, if they like saw you, they would chase you, and if they got you, they would like steal your candy and like give you like dirty clothes instead. And it was so scary trying to run from your villagers. So I always had a strategy. So I would like put all my candy in my mail in my envelopes so that they couldn't take it, and so that they would just give me like dirty clothes, I guess.
That's
So then
that's
I
a
would
good
just like,
idea.
yeah, and so then they could only do that once, you know. So, and then once I found Jack, I would like take all my candy out.
Amazing. Yeah, I played the original, but apparently never over Halloween because I'm pretty sure that would have scarred me and I would have remembered it.
That's fair.
Before we end on Jacob, for all of you Pocket Camp enthusiasts, I thought I should mention when at friendship level 7, he will reward the player with sparkle stones and a green tie-dye tee, which is his original shirt from Animal Forest E+. And there's one other thing about our friend Jacob that I think Brooke should tell you about. Do you want to tell them about his little name situation?
Yes, so in the original Animal Forest E+, according to Animal Crossing Wiki, he had a different name. He went by Jakey, and I guess that was just like in specific versions. Like, I guess it says the PAL versions he was called Jakey, but in the North Americans he was just Jacob. So, not sure what that's about. And then before we ended on him, I just kind of wanted to talk about what he looks like in New Horizons and what kind of house he has. I think I know why he's not super popular. His house is the trash theme. It's a landfill. Yes. So he uses the garbage heap wall and flooring, and his house is filled up by a hay bed, clothesline, log stakes, cardboard box, and trash bags. He uses a simple DIY workbench to craft with and has a portable radio sitting atop a log stool.
Yeah, it's definitely not a look.
No, I would not say it is.
It's not my preferred aesthetic for my villager houses.
In his original appearance, he had more of a jungly look.
Yeah, it says that in the original Animal Crossing game, he had this, or I'm sorry, in Animal Forest E+, he had the same house as Aziz, with the difference that he had a different wallpaper. But then in the original Animal Crossing for North America, he had a jungle theme, which looks really fun, actually.
And then he came back. He was gone for a while after Animal Forest, and he came back in New Leaf, actually. So he's technically fairly new, I guess. But in New Leaf, they gave him that trash theme house, and then it just got kind of worse in New Horizons. The outside of his house doesn't look that bad. It's got like a green roof. It's pretty nice. You know, it's not like a shack.
His picture of his house in New Leaf looks more like the aftermath of like a really gross frat party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they really got the trash theme going in New Horizons. In New Leaf, it just looks like he's a slob.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about Jacob, our villager of the week.
If you have Jacob, if you have ever seen Jacob when you were going, island hunting or I'm sorry, villager hunting or anything, when you were hopping through different islands, if you've had Jacob in other games, or even if Jacob is your favorite, please let us know. We'd love to talk to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was trying to look him up on like Twitter to see if anybody had mentioned him or like if there were any pictures, and I really only found one. And then that was it.
Shout out to that one person that likes Jacob.
Shout out. Yeah, so should we continue and talk a little bit about the fall update?
Absolutely. we're going to talk about the fall update. Brooke has some predictions based on the fall update, which I'm really
Yes.
excited
Oh,
about.
we'll get into that.
Brooke has very rarely been wrong in our lives, so I'm holding it to her that this one is right. And then we're also going to talk about what we're doing on our island specifically to coordinate with the fall update and just spookify our islands, make it fall, make it
Yeah,
festive.
because we're like a week into the fall update now, so a lot of people have completely revamped their islands already. It's incredible.
It's insane. It's already got to the point where on Discord people are like giving away the spooky DIYs for free,
Oh
whereas
yeah,
like
I
24 hours ago it was like throat slitting for like
it's
getting the
crazy.
DIYs. It was terrifying.
I've seen so many like spooky DIY set giveaways. I'm like not gonna enter any of them because I know I'm just gonna get all this stuff. It's really easy to get.
It really is. Like even the stuff that you're not supposed to get until Halloween night, I read up on how you get it. And like as long as you're patient with waiting, it doesn't sound like it's going to be too difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, people are already talking about getting like Christmas furniture. Like, there's a festive series out, I guess,
Yes.
and it's like,
There's some festive furniture already like available from the base game, but hopefully they'll come out with more, right?
oh, I'm sure they'll come out with specialty stuff. But yeah, I've seen a whole lot of pumpkin patches, some very cute, very creative ones. I
Yes.
really
Oh, the
love
pumpkin
people are doing
patches.
like pumpkin carving stations, and they'll set up like a little table with a jack o' lantern and like the cutting board. It's very, very cute.
That was my big surprise for you that I was going to show you when you come to my island is that I set up a pumpkin carving station
Ah, did you
in place of
really?
my painting station. Yeah.
Stop. I'm so excited to see it. Oh, I'm coming over so soon. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so since you're kind of in the middle of your autumnal update, do you want to tell us about what you've done with your island?
Sure. So at this point, mostly I've just been adding little seasonal flavors. It won't be in my dream address. If you want me to update it, let me know. So you can see my spooky time update. I don't think I'm entirely finished yet. I've mostly been replacing. I have a lot of like the little glass candle like holders all over my island. Like I keep them everywhere. I put them on the log stool and just like put them everywhere. And at night it's like so cute, like little twinklies. So I've replaced every single one of those. I replaced I think 20. I had 20 on my island just around. I placed them all with jack-o'-lanterns with the spooky lanterns. So definitely making things more spooky. I added the spooky arch nearby my entrance, along with some of the leaf piles that come with the original autumn. So the red leaf and the yellow leaf, and then the dead leaf piles. Tried to put some of those around my island. I don't have as many materials for those as I do for the pumpkins because I bought so many pumpkins. And I'm not regretting it one bit. I have used so many pumpkins to craft my stuff. What else have I done? Mostly just giving my villagers a lot of sweaters. I really want to do the thing where like I put seasonal sweaters up in the Able Sister shop, so then we can all just be wearing fun sweaters for the rest of fall, but specifically obviously for October for spooky time. Have you been taking advantage of the fall updates in any fun ways?
So I had already planned to have a little farm area up in my second level right next to my orchard. And so I had already started like clearing it out when the fall update was announced. And so I just made that area into a pumpkin patch. So I've got a little farm, pumpkin patch. They're coming in nicely. I'm just kind of putting some like items around to make it more homey. I put like a little scarecrow up. I put some boots down and some tools down. And then right out in front, I just finished my farmer's market. It is complete now. I built the last beehive. So there's a couple little beekeeper hives, and then next to that, I've got a little farmer's market with 3 stalls where they sell honey and apple cider and apples and pumpkins and fresh fruit. So that's very exciting. I've been brainstorming how to add more of the spooky decorations around my town. I think what I might do is I'm gonna make a bunch of those candy set DIYs, the trick or treating candy. Mary was making it today, so I got the recipe. So I think I'm going to put one in front of each of my villagers' houses like they're getting ready for trick-or-treating. Yeah, and then I thought about making, for my island entrance, putting up some spooky decorations and making a spooky arch when you enter. But if any of you guys, or if you, Natalie, have any more ideas that I might be able to do, I really need to get those fallen leaf pile DIYs because I want to spread some of those around.
That's the one thing, is that with the congestion of all of the spooky stuff, it's harder to get the fall DIYs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, it's okay. I just started working on what's going to be my fairy garden, and I'm trying to get a bunch of mushrooms and mushroom sets to make that kind of get a little woodsy, witchy, fall-y vibe going there.
We love some woodsy, witchy, folly vibes.
Yeah, exactly. How could you not?
One of my favorite aesthetics from Animal Crossing New Horizons, by far.
Oh, there's so many great items you can use that play into that, like, witch aesthetic.
Definitely. I hope that they have, I mean, they have quite a few good, like, winter items, but, like, I don't know, I'm always thinking, like, winter doesn't really work with, like, the flowers, which is a really big part of Animal Crossing, or, like, the crops idea. So I'd love it if there was, like, really fun items in the winter update to, like, kind of supplement the fact that, like, not everyone, I'm thinking about, like, getting rid of my flowers for winter, which, like, I'd have to really commit to that because I have way too many flowers. I don't know. I'm still debating about that one because at the same time I don't want to have to regrow all those flowers.
I really wish you could store flowers, like actual flowers that you could replant. Because people work so hard on getting all the hybrids, and then once you have them, like, you don't want to get rid of them because, like, if you, on the off chance you'll need them again, or if, like, you want to change for the seasons, like, you would have to go through all of that again.
If anyone that has any connections or works at Nintendo happens to ever listen to this, for the love of God, please let us store flowers in our inventory in our houses.
I guess
please.
Since flowers are so plentiful now, you could always just get a bunch on, like, Discord or trading.
But that's true. People aren't as, like, crazy with the prices now, but it still takes a while.
Yeah, because, like, you have to think of how many spaces are actually in your inventory and, like, how many you need, and it's just a nightmare.
Like, I practically, like, I lose brain cells every time I try to count up how many bushes I need to buy from Leaf for the changing bush seasons. Exactly. I'm like, wait, okay, so I want 7 red in this area and then 12 yellow in this area, and I honestly, I just lose my mind every time.
Yeah, I really only use bushes, like, kind of I use them a lot in my residential area, and I just do them every other color. And that's what I do, like, yeah, that's the only thing I'm really using them for. They kind of, like, line the river since I can't put any trees right next to the river, next to the canals or anything.
I love it. It's so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Anything for you.
Yeah, do you want to talk about my theory?
Absolutely. Do you want to tell them? Yes.
Yeah.
It's your theory. Absolutely not. You're going to explain it better.
Okay. I was thinking, so, me and Natalie like to do a little digging and find if there's any, data mine leaks. Not super.
We like the data mine leaks, but, like,
don't tell
low
anyone.
key.
But there was a leak about, like, vegetable farming, and I know now that we have pumpkins, and that's a vegetable, but it's also kind of a crafting material. I was thinking with the new late fall update with Franklin and Thanksgiving that they're going to give us a bunch more vegetables, or at least, like, 1 or 2 that we can grow for, like, the late harvest season, because I know it must have been New Leaf or something, a game I did not play. Franklin was a character and you had to cook him food so that they wouldn't eat him on Thanksgiving because he's a turkey. So I'm thinking that's what our new update's going to be about. I know, it's kind of dark. That's what I'm thinking the new update's going to be. I think they're going to give us more vegetables and that we'll be able to unlock a cooking feature. And then we'll probably get some Christmas updates too.
Like, I would be shocked if they didn't, like, because, they'll obviously add items with the update. So, like, a cornucopia would be like the most reasonable thing to add. And it's like, what's in a cornucopia? You got like some nuts and stuff. You have like apples, which we already have, but like you gotta have like a nice fall squash or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm thinking like corn. Let me look up what vegetables were in past Animal Crossing games because I know it's been a thing.
That's a good idea. So, I don't know about everyone else. I think, Brooke, you had a really good idea where ahead of time you set out a specific area for farming. And I wonder, anyone else who's done that, let me know because I did not do that. I did not think ahead enough on that one. And so now when the pumpkins came up, I happened to have like a spot that I didn't really know what to do with, but it's still too small, I think, for the amount of pumpkins that I've been growing. And it's not in a good place. It's not nearby. I do have a little like farm-ish area that's nearby my campsite where before like any of the before the pumpkins were announced or anything, I had made it into a flower, a fruit, and a money tree farm. Because I'm like, those are things that I would all really want. So I have flowers in the flower farm area that I use for DIYs, of mostly the flower wagon. That's one of my favorite items. So I use that one way too much. So I need to harvest those flowers, obviously. And then it's also the place where I put my money tree. So that way it's more aesthetically pleasing than just putting them anywhere. And so now I'm met with this dilemma where I don't have anywhere for the foreseeable vegetables that we may have. I will make room for them should it happen because these veggies are very important to me. Have you found which veggies were in the past games?
So I found more info on the data mine.
Okay.
The data miner Ninja. According to that data mine, there are... Oh, sorry. We should probably reference spoilers if you don't want to know anything that's going to happen. Spoilers if you don't.
Spoiler
want
alert.
Updates.
Don't listen.
In the update, there is references to tomatoes, wheat, sugarcane, potatoes, carrots, and squash.
No corn.
No corn.
What are us Midwestern girls gonna do without corn?
We need our corn.
We need corn.
So that is exciting. Hopefully we'll get to see that. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it like all at once or if they're gonna like save some, because I know they said they would be continuing to do updates within the first 3 years of the release.
Oh my gosh, really?
Which is really cool because then it's like the game never gets old, you know? There's constantly new things to be doing and be getting.
That is a really wonderful thing. I think a lot of people take that for granted. I've seen a lot of people talk about how like the game feels really stale and old, and like, well, I get that because like if you play it a lot, you can definitely run out of steam really fast, and it seems like there's not much else to do. But like in all the other Animal Crossing games, like they gave you the game and that was it. Like there weren't any updates. You just had to play that forever and be happy about it.
Exactly. You know? I do kind of miss, you know, at the beginning of the game, you had, like, goals to accomplish, you know? Like, if you wanted to move on to this, you had to, you had to give 15 fish or bugs to Blathers, or you had to get all the materials. I kind of miss that, like, competitive feel to it. Not competitive, just, like...
Like a goal-oriented feel?
Yeah, something to achieve. And I mean, I guess I'm getting that right now because I'm working hard. I'm working on my island and it's not like complete yet and I still have a ton of work to do. So I'm like working towards that. But I mean, like once you get to a place where you like your island and you don't really want to do any more work on it or you're kind of content with it, like what else are you going to do? I mean, you could keep updating villagers, I guess, and like keep updating your house, but I understand how you could run out of steam very quickly if there weren't updates.
Yeah, that's kind of sort of the wall that I'm hitting right now because my island is finished in the version that I had like seen it as, like it's the vision that I wanted and I love it. But now I'm also unsatisfied because I'm like, all right, now I could probably do other stuff. But I also don't want to, like I said earlier, commit to changing it. So I'm mostly focusing on villagers, which is why I was so excited to get Static because I'm planning on having an all squirrel island. for a short amount of time, or like, you know, some amount of time, I'm already a good amount of it. Like, I got 3. That's a good start. And I love them. I love them so much, the little squirrels. Oh,
You need some girl squirrels now.
I do. I only have 3 boy squirrels and too much testosterone.
Too much testosterone. I have too many girls on my island. I think I only have 3 boys. I have Mac and Stitches and Bob. I think are the only 3 men on my island. The rest are girls.
I think I have more men than girls on my island, which is very strange because I'm a sucker for the normal and peppy villagers.
Oh, they're so cute.
Gosh, honestly, I probably would have an all normal and peppy island, like if I didn't specifically get characters because of their personality traits every once in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to choose between getting your favorite characters and getting characters for like reactions or recipes, you know, or if you really want to round out your island and have all the character types.
Well, and even after, like, you know, getting the reactions and everything, or DIYs, it's like if you have too many normal villagers on your island, you will get the same responses from all of them.
Yeah, exactly. I have, I think, 3 peppy villagers, and they're all very sweet and lovely, but like I'll talk to one and then the other, and they'll just say the same thing to me.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I love talking to you, but I just had this conversation.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So, going back to the fall update, is there anything you wish you would have saw in the fall update? Like, is there anything you were kind of bummed that they didn't add?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, okay, going back to the original game, I was always a sucker for just the sheer amount of like furniture sets that they had. Like, they had so many different furniture sets. I mean, obviously right now, like, they have different furniture sets that you can craft. They have like the ironwood. I have a lot of those. I really like those. And they have like the cute stuff, and I'm trying to think. They have like the wooden block kind of thing. But I remember in the original game, there were just so many different themes for furniture. So like if you really wanted to, obviously like mixing and matching, go for it. But if you really wanted to have like a super cohesive room or area, like you could get all, there's like, you know, a wallpaper, a floor, a bed, a couch, a wardrobe, like one of each thing that you would need in a room in that specific style. My personal favorite was the classic style. Shout out to that. And so
the lovely style. Oh my gosh, the pink
the
and
lovely
the heart
style was cute.
I just wanted all.
And like the cute on New Leaf, or I'm sorry, New Horizons, the cute set on New Horizons doesn't really do it justice. It just, you need more.
I don't know, it just kind of too like young leaning for me. Like it's kind of childish, I think.
Definitely. And so that being said, one of my favorite furniture sets from the original game was the spooky set. It was so fun. It was so inventive. They had a different set for most of the holidays. I know they had a jingle set. They had a Harvest Fest set. That's what they called it in Animal Crossing, right? Harvest Fest? I know that's what they call it in The Sims, so my brain is just crossing over from goalless video games. But I would have liked to see more furniture, especially stuff that you don't have to craft in the fall update, because as much as I love crafting, it can get difficult. I like having things to catalog, and I think honestly, not necessarily in terms of fall, but would have been nice in the fall update is like some quality of life updates, because I remember seeing so many videos of like people just being like, these are really little things that can improve the game vastly. And after spending way too long yesterday getting out Nook Miles tickets from the vending machine, I realized, oh yeah, there definitely are some quality of life things that I think can definitely be improved. Nintendo has obviously heard feedback about this kind of stuff by now. and about the desire for quality of life changes. Simply like, you know, being able to order multiple Nook Mile tickets at a time from the kiosk, or buy multiple shrubs from Leaf at the at his little stand, like more than 5, you know.
Yeah, or like being able to craft with the materials that you have in your storage would be nice.
One thing I've seen is like crafting multiple items specifically for fish bait, because if you're collecting a lot of manila clams to do fish bait, you gotta craft those one at a time.
Yeah, it really sucks.
It's exhausting thinking about it. So, and that's why
I've also
normally
heard
don't use
about
fish bait.
people wishing that they knew how long that their tools were gonna last. Like there was some kind of durability counter on that.
Even in the original Animal Crossing, when your axe was getting old, the edge would start to get jagged.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, this axe is on its last leg. Sorry, too many S's.
Yeah, there's been a lot of videos about that. I've seen lots of stuff. Everybody's been saying buying and crafting in bulk would be so nice. There's a lot of dialogue, and dialogue just gets annoying to like have to click through, you know?
Oh yeah, if you're either villager hunting, or if you're like doing a lot of trading online and so you want to go from one island to another, it takes a good amount of time. I've spent days just trading with people, literal days.
I do love going on Discord. It's my favorite thing right now if I'm kind of just working on my island and I'm just needing like, well, this one thing here or this one thing there. I really do love going on Discord and just asking around. And when people reply, they're so nice. I don't know, it's just kind of fun. And then I get to see other people's islands, or they get to come see mine, and I just think it's fun.
It is really fun. I enjoy the whole community that comes with it. Obviously, exempt some of the mean people, but it's really fun. I'm at the point where I have so many like different DIYs and stuff, just because I've put way too much time into this game, that like people or like I'll have a lot of objects cataloged, because I've gone to quite a few like cataloging parties that, you know, I'll have something that someone wants and they'll be like, oh, how much do you want for it? I'm like, it's free. I don't need anything. Like, I love being that kind of person, because I know that like I love when other people are that kind of person. So yeah, if you have a lot of resources and stuff, give stuff away. It makes you feel good. It makes the other person feel good, and just in general, like, it's a good time.
It's a great way to make connections, you know, get to know other people in the community.
Yeah, and it's a good way to make someone's day, because the thing I've always loved about Animal Crossing is just like how simple and yet like kind-spirited it is. It's just, I mean, obviously, other than like the villagers originally like ripping you to shreds when you didn't do something that they wanted, Animal Crossing has always been like such a positive thing in my life, and it's just something that's so cute and fun. And so I love that the community tends to emulate that same
I think
vibe.
Animal Crossing is such like a fun, like nice, just like aesthetically pleasing game that you really just play for your own like enjoyment, you know? Like there's not like achievements and like beating the game the way there is in other ones, and I think it's really nice to be a part of the community that enjoys that kind of game.
It is. And the nice thing about not being able to like quote unquote beat Animal Crossing is like you can just keep playing it forever, you know?
For real. You can always like redo your island completely differently, and you can always do something completely new and completely unique, you know?
And there's 391 different characters that you can get. I mean, you're going to have a lot.
Oh,
you're going to be able to do it for a really long
designs
time.
Out there. You can literally make anything. We were talking to our friend Caesar. We were talking about how there's a lot of cottagecore islands, which are very cute and very lovely, and I love them so much. And he was like, we should do, I want to see like an 80s vaporwave. That would be really cool. And I was like, oh, I really actually just saw one the other day. Like, people get so creative. I was watching an island walkthrough where somebody did it after like Lord of the Rings, and they styled the whole island after places from the movies and books.
Oh my gosh, I want to see that so bad.
I'll see if I can find you the link and send it to you.
I know that for anyone that's looking for more Animal Crossing media out there, Chase Crossing on YouTube has done a lot of different island tours during the day and during the night, so you can see like the different aesthetics during the different times of day. Um, so much fun to watch. Just so many creative people out there with so many ideas
Yeah,
that I never would have thought
absolutely.
of.
And some people they get so creative with like their terraforming and their designs. It's really incredible to see.
There was on Chase Crossings as well. I saw that there was like a basically like an island maze to get through in order to get a villager, and it was the most insane thing ever because just like the intricacy and the time it must have taken to terraform this to have like specific pathways and multiple levels. It's truly insane. Like if you have a minute, go and check it out, and just you don't even have to watch it. It's really fun, but like just look at how crazy the island looks. It's just endless possibilities, truly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we're really excited to be starting this project. We would love it if you listen and share. If you like Animal Crossing, if you just really love gaming content in general, we would love to have you here.
Absolutely. All are welcome. We love Animal Crossing. We love gaming.
So, our both of our dream addresses and both of our Animal Crossing Twitter accounts will be linked below. We would love feedback. We would love to hear your guys' ideas. Yeah, we're really excited for this. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.